Coming up next on The Jeff Crilley Show, we're all going to learn how to be unbreakable and unshakable from a woman whose life reads like a Hollywood movie. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is The Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, there's that old saying, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. We all have suffered adversity. Maybe it's a loss of a loved one, loss of a job, a divorce, something like that. But you really need to find another gear and pick yourself back up again. And to talk about that today, somebody who knows a lot about picking herself up, Ilona Parunakova, and she is a best-selling author 7 times, unbelievable, a speaker, international speaker, and how many TED Talks have you done now?
It's going to be my 3rd time coming up, so.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I can't wait for my audience to hear your story. Start at the very beginning.
So, well, I was born in the country of Georgia, Republic of Georgia, which is former Soviet Union, and I was born in a communist country, communist regime. I endured lots of ethnic discrimination because I don't look anything like my country, people in my country would do, because my mom is from a different country, Ukraine, married the guy from a completely different ethnicity and culture and languages from Armenia, and lived in Georgia. So when I was born, I was actually refused and denied by my grandparents because I didn't look like them. And they were embarrassed even to rock me, to put me to sleep. They never acknowledged me as their grandchild because I looked different. And when I went to get baptized, the priest refused to give me a second Christian name because I don't look nothing like Armenian. So he had to ask and doubt so many questions. So I was the last one in line for him to give me the name. But today I'm very renowned best-selling author. I have finished my bachelor in 1 year with a 4.8 GPA, so I'm very proud, mother of 3, and I am not gonna stop until I reach more dreams, and I cannot wait to help others to reach to their and to find their identity and to be resilient into knowing who they are.
Absolutely, and you kind of skimmed over your childhood, but you witnessed the fall of the Soviet Union. You remember hunger, you remember cold. Tell us about that.
The biggest thing that I remember during this time, and my mom saying, because my dad had a very good reputation and good position. He was a chief of the Security International Airport. So every time he wanted to buy something, he actually flew to a different country to buy us the best food ever. We actually ate caviar with a spoon, and we had to throw it away. We had life, we didn't appreciate nothing. I remember my mom was saying, I wish time will come where you would appreciate this loaf of bread you have just thrown away. And yet you know that the war began. We had nothing. We went from having everything, from having zero. I used to eat snails. I used to eat sparrows. We would stand for hours on a line to get a quarter of bread for 4 of us to last for 2 days. We were crying for food. I would eat the moldy bread. I would lucky if I would eat something. I would go to the school in an empty stomach. You could hear our stomach grinding because of the hunger, devastation, the cold, the fear of unknown. So life had taught me a big lesson to appreciate what you have, Ilona, and to really give thanks and be grateful for everything that you owe.
I got goosebumps. We found a great video on her website. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
I'm not naturally ambitious. Life made me determined. I live to keep my dreams alive. I came to realization that in order to achieve anything in my life, I would need faith in myself and vision, determination and dedication. Most of my life required taking risks, to close my eyes and follow my heart. Sometimes I fell, many times I stumbled, but life did not forget about me. Life did not leave me staying down. Life never beats us down. It has no power to do so. It is hard to finally see, and I have not fully come to see it yet myself. But everything in life happens for the reason. And I started to understand difficulties build a strong character in us, shapes us, bends us, humbles us. It reveals to us our abilities to survive and strive, win, lose, and conquer. No matter what has happened to you in the past, in your childhood, or what is going on in your life at this moment, I am confident in saying it has no power to keep you from having an amazing future. I have released the most beautiful book ever written, a book that is going to change the world. This book uplifts people, awakens people, and sets them free. It sets a path for the new generation of forward-thinking individuals who are tired of the status quo, individuals who are highly creative and motivated to create a change. This is a book for individuals who push boundaries, who ask important questions, who find the way. It is the book for the warriors who do not just talk empty words, but who live and breathe what they say.
Now, everybody's watching this and they're saying, well, you were born beautiful, you had all this, you probably were winning beauty pageants as a child, but that's not true. You actually had a bunch of self-doubt, didn't you?
Big times. Like I said, from the rejections from my own grandparents, not being rocked when I needed to rock, not being fed when I was hungry to help my mom somewhere. And my own relatives have mocked me ugly when I was growing up. They would always accentuate my facial features and saying, look, at those features, they're not pretty, they're so ugly, they're nothing like our features. And your skin tone is different, your hair color is different. So everywhere I would hear that, so of course I would grow up as thinking that was true.
And you went on to win a beauty pageant.
Yes, that was a miracle on itself, and I'm so happy, for me to get through that milestone. As it was post-war, we would walk down, after the school was over, and I saw the flyer hanging over the door in one of the schools. So we read the flyer, and the flyer said, if you are interested, we are conducting our first annual beauty pageant. And so if you're interested, please stop by at our office on Monday at 6 p.m. for preliminary viewing and cut. So I'm like, yeah, right, that's not gonna happen. Why do I have to embarrass or humiliate myself one more time if I already got information that I am ugly? Why do I need somebody else to tell me that again? So yet my sister was with me and some of my friends, they encouraged me, Ilona, you have nothing to lose. Just go there, just try. So I went there, I got the first cut. So they invited me again to preliminary. So I went another cut. I went through the 2 more cuts until I'm on the stage, got another cut from the stage, got to the semifinals, to the finals, and then finally.
Well, and there's a great story of resilience here, because you could have let others define you, but you were very resilient and very competitive and just a fire in your belly to succeed. I want to talk about your book. We're going to put it up on the screen so people can see this. Opium of the Almond Tree. It's a fascinating title. Tell us what it means.
Well, that's exactly what it says. But opium is my place of happiness, opium of the almond tree. Opium should be, of course, the title, we wanted to put the title aroma. Aroma is so boring, it's not catchy, but opium is the place where people find maybe their aha moment. Almond tree was that aroma that I woke up every day. It was aroma of my future, of hope. I would climb the trees to get those almonds we would eat before they were ripe. And I remember myself falling off from the trees so many times with the scratches, with the bruises. And this is my aroma every time I would close my eyes. And I would always ask God, please take me to that place where I feel the happiest.
Wow. And one of the things that you're very passionate about is being unapologetic. Talk about that and why that's important to the viewer.
Of course, growing up, my dream was I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be just like everybody else. God, why I am not just like my grandparents, just like my relatives, like my schoolmates, the people from my country think that I was outsider, that I was a foreigner, they treated me like a tourist. So I didn't belong there. And I always wanted to apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry I don't look like that. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I speak your language. I'm so sorry for my mistakes. I'm so sorry for maybe I did something wrong. I got tired because I realized that there's no way you can please people. And my wish that I wanted to become just like everybody else, today I thank God that my wish did not come through because I did not grow up to blend in. I was born to stand out.
Wow. Okay, another point that you like to make is the power of no. What does that mean?
Power of no, we all get no in our lives, whether with our phone calls or emails, verbal, non-verbal, and nobody likes to get the no, whether we realize it or not. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm okay, that's all right, but in reality, we are not. We fight our no, but what I found out, the good leader, the good mindset takes every no and turns it into next.
Wow, this is so powerful. I could talk to you all day. One last point, reclaiming your identity.
Well, every time we are born, we already have the God's thumbprint in our lives. Until we realize that we do not need approval from anybody else to know who we are, when we get to this point that we need to stop please people, to cater to their wants, to build who we are, that's when we are strong and we claim our identity that we were born with. And I realized that it's not a punishment for me to be different. It's the compliment. That's my uniqueness of who I am that makes me to stand out against the crowd.
Okay, we only have a little time left. I want you to look at the viewer and tell them, the person who has self-doubt, the person who's feeling bad about their situation, what do you want to tell them?
First of all, I absolutely love the quote of Coco Chanel, who says that there are some people who have money and there are some people who are rich. I want you to think back and list everything that you have that money cannot buy. How many times do we wake up and thank our hands because we have them? How many times we wake up and say, praise God, we open our two most important gifts that are our eyes, to thank them. So start there. I want you to understand that you are marvelously and fearfully made. You do not need approval from anybody else to know who you are, because you are undoubtedly God's masterpiece. His identity, His uniqueness, His likeness is in your image, and you are amazing.
Wow. Well, that's a great way to end this show. We're going to end with her website. Ilona Parunakova.com is the website. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us a dose of inspiration.
It was such an honor and pleasure to be with you, Jeff.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.